I only know what I'm told. Ladies and gentlemen, the Hurricane, Carson Hocevar. Good afternoon, Mr. Hurricane. How are you?
I'm good, Dave. How are you?
I'm all right. Do you have any idea what's going on there, where that came from, or whether you want to put it to bed before it even gets rolling any harder?
No, I mean, I don't. I think Lee Diffie came up with it last year, and I wasn't sure if it would have a lot of steam, obviously, for the year because that was kind of his thing, and it seemed like the broadcast wanted to take advantage of it. So I don't know. I take it as a compliment that we're running good enough for them to want to think of something and want to push something.
That you are, no doubt about that. Fourth place finish on Sunday in the Auto Trader 400 at Echo Park. Can you rewind the final few laps for us? There was a lot going on out there, pal.
Yeah, I mean, there was obviously a lot going on. I felt like at the very end on the last green white checkered, I realistically wanted to Bubba to throw the block and kind of make it happen. Personally, I felt like if we didn't get clear, I didn't want to be 100% leading. I felt like I wanted to be able to dictate and not be double file. And but if Ross got clear, it would have worked out perfect. But I also would have been put on defense. I kind of wanted to be on offense. And when Bubba threw the block, I kind of filled middle. I kind of went into you're going to probably be on defense here, and especially if I don't clear Reddick, and it never really happened for me, but I was really needing Ross to, get through and sneak through and be able to push. And when I saw Briscoe behind, I thought for a second it was Ross. I was in a great spot, because their cars are both red at the time. And, just happened to look, once it got closer, I realized it was Briscoe and kind of just made my bet. I didn't really, theoretically, once I got to turn 3 and was still side by side with Reddick, my bet was kind of made that it wasn't going to be, our day when we did another mile and a half, right, and came around to the checkered. But glad that we were able to finish out. It was a good day and have a shot to win, for a while there.
Obviously off to a great start. Fourth in the championship standings. I get it. It's early, 2 down, 34 to go, but you've got to be pretty confident in your ability, or are you, to keep it rolling this weekend as we go to COTA?
Yeah, I mean it's not bad considering we wrecked in half the races, right?
Right.
So it's not bad at all. I think we were 11th highest in stage points last year. I think we're like 6th maybe for this year so far. Obviously early, but as long as we can have just even the stage points we did last year with just putting together races like we've been able to do at least last week, we'll be in a great spot. It's good to not dig ourselves out of a hole, right? I think the first 3 races are kind of unknowns for a little bit of everybody. You have 2 super speedways and 1 road course that, can just kind of throw a loop for a lot of people unless you're the 97 car. So, I feel super good that at least 2 of the 3 right now we banked a lot of points.
So early in year number 2, but what do you think might be the biggest difference compared to your rookie season so far?
The biggest difference I think is our notebook. Year 1 it was just figure out all the races and run all the laps, and then year 2 last year was go as fast as possible and try to win a race, but just go as fast as possible. And we had a lot of reliability kind of issues or freak things that happen that, the big teams, they have all those processes, they have all that, right? So that was kind of the thought process, was go as fast as possible. And, if we can't handle how fast we're going yet, we'll be able to figure out why. And I think we're really, really ready for this year of, being able to just handle everything. We just have all grown from a team standpoint. Our cars are getting way better. I just think there's a lot going for us on the positive side to continue our progress.
I'm sure you've heard by now, Denny Hamlin weighed in this week, said that your aggressiveness on the racetrack may have some consequences on down the road. That's nothing you haven't heard before, I'm sure. Is that anything you worry about? Is that a concern for you, or do you just go out there and do what you do on Sunday?
No. I mean, I think we just all race. I think everybody races me very aggressively at times, and I feel like I do the same, obviously. I'm probably a little bit more on the take side. But, I think Bowman Gray and Daytona and Atlanta, I felt like it was very calculated of when I wanted to do it. Obviously that green-white checkered, and you have 2 Toyotas in front of you and 3 Chevys behind you. I'm going to be getting pushed very aggressively, obviously, and then, our number one motive is, just try to lead our lane and get us going. So, I felt like that was, definitely an aggressive move, but I felt like, it's just a little bit of, I hit them as hard as I could last year to get them to open the middle, and I probably was, thinking I could find the middle there, and saw it for how fast I got shot in there. I felt like it was open, but by the time I got there, it was already closed. But when you're making decisions and very split-second decisions, you have to be fully committed one way or the other. And I feel like a lot of times when you're, half-assing it, per se, that's when you tend to find yourself in trouble more times than not. So I felt like I was very committed to a lot of moves last week, and for the thousands moves it felt like we're doing nonstop, I'm bound to get a few wrong.
I loved how you kind of talked about the intensity level. You've been very successful in trucks, and you were talking like, hey, if the race ended halfway, we'd have won all of them so far because you're up front every race. Describe the intensity level for our listeners, the difference between truck racing, O'Reilly's, and Cup.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I just kind of laugh about it now. It's my heroes watching, right? There wasn't they could race for the championship and the Busch Series and the trucks and everything and get going. And I, would watch them, and I would always think like it's, they're not always having the best cars and best setups. Like eventually they're just really good at adapting to whatever their car is compared to the rest of the field of the, series regulars that aren't racing on Sundays. And I always thought that was pretty wild and crazy that they were that good. And now it's just kind of fun to, just to see experience through my own eyes. Like I don't feel like I really am doing anything differently. And, 2 years separated from running a truck full time last year, I had a shot to win every truck race and was running second and, wasn't in the sim. And, when you're a truck guy, that's all you live is trucks, and you're looking at the data and everything. And, I just kind of show up and get in the truck, and, we're like top 2 without a doubt at all 4. And then this year it's, there's a lot more Cup guys in the field, apparently, these first 2 races, but, we're just kind of, playing the video game per se, and just between all the Cup guys and just kind of enjoying it. And I don't play golf, but it reminds me as it's the stress-free racing. You just kind of go down there, you're not really worried about it, and you're just going to be up front just off the experience level and knowing where to put your car and where to maximize it and do everything. And it's been a lot of fun to go down there and just kind of go mess about for a little bit and have fun and, be up front.
Okay, so you're not a golfer. We've established that.
No.
We do know that your occasional hot rod purchases on Facebook Marketplace, we're all aware of those. What else do you do in your non-racing time? What takes up your time and space when you're not on the racetrack? I'm basically just racing. I'm just racing and enjoying it, and playing iRacing with a lot of my
friends, and I'm building a property that's going to have racetracks on it. So, when I'm not racing, I'm hoping to have a piece of property that I can go outside and go race. So, I don't know. There's not really a whole lot. I just enjoy driving cars, and even if I'm not racing, I just enjoy going out there and messing around with cars or sliding them or driving them harder than they probably should go. And I just enjoy that. I don't really enjoy anything else. So I'm pretty locked in on that.
Kind of in that category, but a little bit different. You've been very open, like, hey, this is the way I drive, and I don't think you put any BS out there. You've been pretty organic and for real in all your interviews. What is something that you would like the fans to maybe understand about you and your racing style?
I don't know. I think they see it all pretty good. I think everybody's, I think all the fans are pretty smart. On picking up what's real and what's not, or whatever it might be. So I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of times though that like there's sometimes you see stuff, and I feel like I'm pretty calculated on everything. It might not work, but there was at least a thought there. And I think that's changed after a while. But I think the narrative for a while was that I just kind of shoot gaps without any thought. A lot of times there is thought. It just might be wrong, or I might expect, the guy in front of me to do what I would do or what I would think they would do. And sometimes they choose option B, and I was pretty committed to where they were going to be on option A. And, and that's where you see, issues or moves that didn't work or whatever. I think eventually, when you're shooting a lot, eventually you're tending to miss something, but at least you have a target most of the time. And I don't think anybody ever goes out with, skeet shooting and doesn't plan to shoot the skeet. Eventually you just miss it, and or eventually you have different thought processes of it.
Oh, I get it. That's a good analogy. All right, off to Circuit of the Americas this weekend. 13th place finish there last year, if memory serves. Do you feel like you're progressing as a road racer the way you'd like to over the last couple of years?
I mean, last year wasn't good for me on road courses. I felt like we were decently fast at some of them. I just struggled with the tire and some of it. But really, like, we were kind of experimenting too, and I felt like we missed on a lot. So it was very hot and cold, speed sometimes or really bad sometimes. So I feel like I have the potential to be decent. Obviously qualifying 4th and finishing 13th, and I didn't really think I was very ever comfortable. It kind of gives me some encouragement. But, realistically, I think if I could get some stage points and finish in the top 15 or get single digits really would be a really successful day for me, and I'd be really happy about that. And I get my good qualifying metric, and we move on to Phoenix. I kind of want to sneak out of there with points that I can extend the cut and not lose on it.
So here's how I see it. This weekend's going to be your breakthrough moment. This is going to be your first win in Cup, and you're going to be like, what the hell? Now it's my favorite. I love road course racing.
I mean, it happened to Ross, so it keeps me a little bit motivated. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm managing expectations, though, and I think we're going to be really good the next few weeks. So I just don't want to go in there trying too hard and ruin anything. We have a really good opportunity right now with points and everything that, and I think we're going to be really fast at Phoenix, that I just want to, not take ourselves out of anything or hurt our qualifying for Phoenix and just ruin any momentum we got.
Sounds like a plan to me. All right, my man. Appreciate the time as always. Congratulations on a great start to the season, and glad you stopped by. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
See ya. That's Carson, the Hurricane, hocevar. Hey, if it's good for him, it's good for me. Coming off a fourth place finish in the Auto Trader 400 at Echo Park Speedway.